Welcome back to the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Caden Aguiar, giving you episodes every single Friday. Huge weekend of sports again, and lots of topics to talk about. We got NBA, college football, NFL, college basketball coming up soon. And man, this is just quite the episode. Brian Kelly fired. Just tons of things. Miami picking up wins. Cam Scatterbo's out for season. Aiden Hutchinson signs an extension. Lots of stuff coming up on the Fifth Quarter Podcast today. So let's fade this out and get right into it. Man, beautiful Thursday out here today. And man, let's get right into it. So like I said, Cam Scatterbo is now out for season with a ruptured ligament. Looks to be a dislocated ankle. Tough blow for a Giants team that was starting to find their identity with a young talent in Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. Let's not forget, though, the Giants running back from last year, Tyrone Tracy. Back at the helm for the rushing attack for the Giants, for the rest of this year. I think if I'm a Giants fan, I don't feel too upset. Yes, Cam Scatterbo, he's an energy piece to your team. He gets you guys started. But Tyrone Tracy was 1,000. He had 1,000 scrimmage yards last year. He had a few touchdowns to prove it as well. And I think that in the grand scheme of things, you guys, the Giants will be fine with Jackson Dart still back there. He's a quarterback version of Cam Scatterbo, to say the least. And I think that Tyrone Tracy is going to go in there and give you competitive rushing attack from here on out. Tough blow to see Cam Scatterbo go in his rookie year, though. He was honestly on the rise for Rookie of the Year. He had a chip on his shoulder, and he was starting to perform really well, starting to become really comfortable in this Giants offense, and it's just sad to see him go. So, Cam Scatterbo. We've seen Tyrone Tracy produce at a solid level. Just about, last year, he produced at a solid level, and it was a level to where you're like, okay, I'm fine with this guy, at running back for us. I'm fine with that. And I expect the same production from last season, from here on out from him. Aiden Hutchinson just yesterday signed a 4-year extension with the Detroit Lions worth $141 million. He deserves that kind of money. These past couple of years, he has shown his dominance, and let's not forget that he would have been Defensive Player of the Year last season if it weren't for his serious injury that he had last season against the Bucs. I cannot name 3 pass rushers that are better than Hutchinson right now. Last year I would have gone the Micah Parsons route, but I don't know. I think that Aiden Hutchinson is better than Micah Parsons right now. The only thing I can say is maybe Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, of course. I think those are the only pass rushers that are better than him on some type of level. Myles Garrett is a first ballot Hall of Famer right now as we speak. So he's competing with the best, to say the least, and he deserves every bit of that $141 million. And the Lions have now signed their 9 core guys that they see. Props to the Lions. They're putting the money where their talent is. They signed Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, and now Aiden Hutchinson getting in there. It shows that the Lions are going to be competitive for years to come in this league. The Eagles go ahead and trade for Michael Carter. They give up John Mechie in a 7th rounder. This move could help the Eagles add good depth at corner and take the load off of Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. There were problems with this defense a few weeks ago, and I don't think the Eagles really liked that much. The Eagles are, especially from last year, they were a fantastic defense, and now that you add Michael Carter, who is a solid depth piece for you for the Eagles, he's going to come in and bring impact almost immediately for this Eagles team. So not only are the Eagles starting to rise on offense, but on defense, they're adding pieces that are going to help them compete for yet another Super Bowl. Myles Garrett had a franchise record 5 sacks for the Cleveland Browns, and was mad after the game. The Browns ended up losing by 19 points. I think that Myles Garrett wants out of Cleveland, and honestly, I don't really feel all bad for him. I don't feel bad at all. He had the chance to leave this offseason, and he looked at a fat contract and said, well, for the right price, I will play for a team like the Browns. So I understand the frustration that you don't want to play for a franchise like the Browns, but you have to take into account, hey, dude, you signed, you looked at that price tag and you said, hey, that's enough to sign off on that contract and basically say, hey, I'm going to spend my prime with the Cleveland Browns. On that note, Myles Garrett is going to be wasted as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yes, you heard it here. Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson are two names, and even Larry Fitzgerald in my eyes are names that come to mind of first ballot Hall of Famers that got their careers wasted because they stayed on that same team and their team wasn't as good as they were. Myles Garrett, I'm afraid is going to be in the same boat as them. Yes, guys like Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, they played at such a high level, but you can't be a one-man team. You have to have, defensive side of the football. You have to have great players, and that's why, that's what Calvin Johnson didn't have. He had a quarterback, not much else. Julio Jones, he had a great quarterback, but you make it to a Super Bowl, and then your defense can't play in the second half. That's the difference from winning a ring and losing a ring. So it's wasted potential, and Myles Garrett is going to become another subject of that for years to come. Let's talk about these MVP odds, though. Now I have my own take about the MVP. I think that a guy like Jonathan Taylor should be the MVP winner right now. I think that Jonathan Taylor is the most valuable player in all of football right now. You heard it on the Fifth Quarter podcast. Based off his stats and how much he means for this team and how much winning that they are doing, he should be the MVP. But the problem is that the MVP is such a quarterback award, and it's so hard for another position to win it, especially with the awards of Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. It's so hard for a running back or an edge rusher to have such a great season and still fall short of the MVP. We saw it with Saquon Barkley last year. Almost a 2,000-yard rusher in the regular season. Didn't even lick the MVP. He didn't even get close to winning the MVP. I think he was a candidate, but he wasn't close. That was all Josh Allen. So I have my own take about the MVP award. I like the Offensive Player of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year, but it's just, I think that the best player in football should get that regardless of position. And I think those two players are Jonathan Taylor and Myles Garrett. Those are the best players and most valuable players in football right now. Argue with the wall. So let's look at these MVP odds. We got Patrick Mahomes leading the way at plus 125. I think that this is here just because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. It's just because of the name. Patrick Mahomes is playing at a very high level right now. Yeah, he is. And I won't, discard that from him. He's playing really good football right now. But when I look at it, I'm like, well, the Chiefs are only, 5-3? But come on, man. I mean, they're solid, but get out of here with that. Then we got Josh Allen at plus 350. Josh Allen, I think, should have better odds than Patrick Mahomes at the MVP right now. Josh Allen is still rolling, and he, without Josh Allen on your team, what is your team, right? He's a very valuable player. Drake May at plus 500. I like this. Drake May is starting to evolve. Drake May is starting to become a premium quarterback in this league, and it's showing through and through why he's so talented. Then we got Matt Stafford at plus 1,200. I think he is probably, production-wise, he's probably the best producing quarterback in the league right now. Matt Stafford is playing out of his mind at this age. We know that before the season started, he had back issues. He's playing through those. Doesn't even have Puka Nacua on the field. Has Devontae Adams, who's still playing fairly good for his age. But he certainly doesn't have Puka right now, and he's still putting up fantastic numbers and leading their team to a great record right now. Baker Mayfield's sitting at plus 1,400. Baker Mayfield's, he's looking like a valuable player right now. He's led the Bucs to, I think, 4 game-winning drives. Of course he deserves to be in the MVP list. Then Daniel Jones at plus 1,600 now. I am liking the way that Daniel Jones is playing. He's playing better. This is the best he's played in his career, and I think that it's fair that he should be in this MVP candidate right now. But I look at Jonathan Taylor, and I'm like, dude, he's really taking the load off of Daniel Jones right now. Say you had a guy, say they had their backup in, and it was Daniel Jones who had to sling the rock to win the game. I don't know how the outcome of that game is going to be, and I don't know if they're 7-1 without Jonathan Taylor. Now, granted, with Daniel Jones, he has been making good decisions with the football, but I think that Jonathan Taylor has he's played much better than any quarterback in the league has. We also have Jordan Love at plus 1,800. We saw on Sunday night how lethal he could be. And I'm sick of the label that Jordan Love is a rising star, and he's here. He's been here for the past couple years. He's been here. It's time to wake up about Jordan Love. Jordan Love is looking good. He might be in the Super Bowl by the end of the season. He could be Super Bowl MVP. We never know. But I look at Jordan Love and I say, wow, that is a well-taught QB. And that's what Green Bay does. They always get these quarterbacks 3-4 years in advance so that, Brett Favre can teach Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers can go and teach Jordan Love and beat Jordan Love and beat Aaron Rodgers. So I like Jordan Love a lot. I think actually, no, I don't think so. I think he was top 12 QBs for me before the season started, and now I think I would put him in the top 7 for sure. He definitely deserves to be in the MVP candidate. And then we finally get to Jonathan Taylor sitting at plus 1,800 odds. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I think Jonathan Taylor should be leading MVP right now. If Jonathan Taylor breaks the touchdown record, I think that people are going to start saying, hey, we can't disregard that. Jonathan Taylor has to be the MVP. The number's 31. And I think he's sitting at 12 right now. And we're only at week 8. He could do some more damage right before mid-season to where I'm like, wow, this guy's got to be MVP. If he breaks the touchdown record, I think he wins MVP. But I think, now 2,000 yards is just an accomplishment. It's just a label. Derrick Henry has kind of made it common. Kind of just, it's an achievement. Here you go, Derrick Henry, 2,000 yards. You got it. But we don't really put that into the MVP conversation anymore. It's not like before. So I think if Jonathan Taylor reaches 2,000 yards, that's a different story. I think he can win Offensive Player of the Year at that point. But if he breaks the touchdown record and gets 2,000 yards maybe, you got to make him MVP. You have to crown him MVP. Like I said, I think Jonathan Taylor is the most valuable player in football right now. His stats through 8 weeks through the season cannot go unnoticed. Through 8 games this season, Jonathan Taylor has put up 850 rushing yards. That's almost 100 yards more than James Cook, who's sitting at number 2. Has 14 touchdowns overall this season. 12 rushing, and 2 receiving. That's more than anyone in the league. He has 4 games with 3 touchdowns and has led this Colts team to the best record in football right now at 7-1. Again, Jonathan Taylor is the most valuable player in football right now. Argue with the wall. So, looking at these MVP odds, it strikes me because, Patrick Mahomes is leading the MVP race, but he's not playing insanely crazy, like I said before. In my eyes, the best performing QB is either Drake May or Matt Stafford, and emphasis on Stafford. He's been efficient, even without Puka Nacua, like I said earlier. And the MVP is basically who's just the best QB contest, and not who's really the best player in football. In that case, for me, Myles Garrett would be runner-up for MVP for me. But it's also hard to give him MVP honors because of a record of 2-6 that the Browns have. That's another problem. You have to win games to be the MVP. So the MVP is it's taking a different turn now. For the past 15, 20 years, it's been who's the best QB and not who's the most valuable player. The pot was starting to stir about the Cowboys using the draft picks that they got from Micah Parsons to trade for Myles Garrett. The Browns came out and said, you have a better chance at winning the lottery than us giving up Myles Garrett. Here's my thing about the chain of events for the Cowboys in this Micah Parsons, and now they don't even have a pass rusher, so their defense is bad. That whole ordeal. Micah wanted to negotiate a deal, and Jerry Jones held it off for too long. And now that your defense is bottom 2 in the league, you start to scramble to get a pass rusher because the Cowboys have the offense, but this defense, they don't have one threat on their team. I like Demario Overshown. I like Trayvon Diggs. I like Deron Bland. But they're not really too much threats. They're solid, but they're not threats. So this is overall Jerry's fault, because in the sense that you didn't handle Micah Parsons correctly. Now, yes, Micah was dramatic and was being a prima donna, but all in all, this guy's a top 5 defensive player, and you have to manage him wisely. If I were Jerry, my team sitting at a 3-4 record, we have a fantastic offense, and only if the Raiders were willing to trade Max Crosby is where I would pull the trigger and say, here, take the two first-round picks that we have, and we'll take Max Crosby and try to compete for a Super Bowl. Now, if you trade for Max Crosby, you better go and win the Super Bowl after that. You better go win the Super Bowl after that. You have a top 3 offense. Get a pass rusher. Get Trayvon Diggs back. Get Deron Bland back. And all of a sudden, that defense looks just as good as the offense does. If you cannot trade for Max Crosby, I say keep the picks. Keep the picks. Maybe you can squeak out a wild card spot, and we'll see how the defense performs in the wild card or in the playoffs. But keep those picks. Draft young talent. Now, the biggest trade rumor for the Cowboys, is going around is for the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson. Now, Trey Hendrickson is one heck of a player, but let's look at this trade in the grand scheme of things, right? If you go trade for him, right? If you go trade for Trey Hendrickson, you get him this season, and the Cowboys better be able to push for the Super Bowl at this point. So even when you get into the offseason, you get into the same dilemma as you did last time with Parsons. You got to pay him a bag, man, to keep him on your team. And Trey Hendrickson isn't 26 like Parsons. He's 30 years old. How much are you willing to spend on a 30-year-old pass rusher? At least Max Crosby is 28, right? He's playing great football and influences in stopping the run, unlike Parsons and Hendrickson. So in my eyes, if you don't have the right price tag for Max Crosby, hold on to the first-round picks and go draft young talent. Jerry, I'm giving you good advice here. It was a kind of weird slate for games in Week 8, but let's talk about some notable games from last weekend, starting with the Jets picking up their first win against the Cincinnati Bengals. And honestly, if they're going to, if the Jets were going to win a game, it was going to be that one. This is the thing for the Bengals. Their defense lacks so much that you give up 39 points to a lackluster Jets offense. Yeah, the Bengals offense put up 38. That's expected, especially with Flacco at QB. But come December, the Bengals will be sitting at 8 wins. And when you miss the playoffs, this is the game you'll look back on and say, you know what? Yeah, we should have won that game. I feel like the Bengals are always in that predicament every single year. Hey, we're sitting at like 9 wins. Can we get in the playoffs? Oh, nah, you can't. You had to win one more game, and it was against the 0-7 New York Jets. That's the reason you can't make the playoffs. That's a tough break there. And here's the thing about the Bengals. If the Bengals make it to the playoffs, they have a good chance at still making a deep run, possibly even making the Super Bowl, because Joe Burrow will be able to come back off of turf toe while the playoffs are going on. So get into the playoffs, Bengals. Get into the playoffs. That's your number one mission. Get into the playoffs, and it starts by beating a team like the New York Jets. The Dolphins, they look like a completely different team last week as well. Taking on a tough Falcons team and taking care of business in a hostile Falcons environment. Tua was playing with a puffy eye and played the best he did all season. 20 for 26 for 205 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. Where is this Miami offense week in and week out? Last week they looked like how they should look against the Falcons. They had an electric offense, and nothing was going to stop them. The Falcons' defense is a really good defense, top 5, in my opinion. And you're out here putting up 34 points on them? Man, Kirk Cousins had his first game back, and he was very disappointing to say the least. Only 173 passing yards, no passing touchdowns, and he just couldn't get things rolling for the Falcons offense. Dolphins win 34-10 in that one. I think that I will take them today over the Ravens, regardless if Lamar is starting or not. I think that this is the win that the Dolphins needed to wake up and start winning football games. Ravens handle the Bears and only allow 16 points, which I am surprised about because I was high on the Bears offense coming in. Derrick Henry, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Tyler Huntley, he was just managing the offense, not making big plays, but he was just making the right plays. Ravens win 30-16. Texans shocked me this week as well. I thought that the 49ers would give him a lot of trouble, but after watching that game, not so much. Mac Jones couldn't get anything going, and CJ Stroud, he's starting to play. He played really well despite Nico Collins being out. Texans are starting to rise again and pick up a huge win, 26-15 over the 49ers. Drake May looking like an MVP candidate still, with 3 passing touchdowns. This Cleveland offense has looked stagnant and could not move the ball much. Here's a question here. If I'm the Browns, do I consider saying, hey, you know what, Dylan Gabriel? Sit down. We'll try Deion Sanders' kid. We'll try to play him. I'm not a Shadur Sanders advocate by any means, but you gotta pull the trigger at some point. You got to say, hey, we're going to start this guy and see what he can do. Because at this point in the season, why does it matter? I think now is the time to give him a shot to see what he can do because Dylan Gabriel is not the answer. And it pains me to say that because I liked Dylan Gabriel coming out of the draft. Broncos curb stomped the Cowboys 24-44. This Broncos defense is crazy good and expect them to play like this the rest of the year. Bo Nix is being Bo Nix with 4 passing touchdowns, 2 of them to Troy Franklin. As we can see now, this Cowboys defense is not going to get it done against anybody. And there has to be a change in Dallas, and I expect one to be there before the trade deadline. Packers spoil Aaron Rodgers for the first game versus the Packers since his departure, 35-25. Watch out for the Packers still. They've lost their hype, but are still playing their brand of football. And then there's Monday, and then on Monday the Chiefs show their dominance against the Commanders, 28-7. This defense is back for the Chiefs, and the offense is playing at a good level. They could be back in the playoffs if this type of play continues for them. They could possibly be the best team in college football right now. On the college football here, South Florida gets beat by a really good Memphis team, 34-31. What a game that was. And watch out for Memphis. They could really make a solid case to be in the college football playoff by the end of the year. Indiana takes care of business against UCLA, 56-9. UCLA's momentum was not enough to fluster this tough Hoosiers team. Fernando Mendoza looks like the clear Heisman and number 1 pick in the draft. Texas A&M takes care of LSU 49-25. They beat them so bad that Brian Kelly ends up getting fired. But we'll get into that later on. Alabama hangs on against South Carolina 29-22. I believe they were down with 5 minutes to go in that game, and they ended up coming back to beat South Carolina. Oregon takes care of business against Wisconsin, and here we go. Ole Miss takes down John Mateer and this OU team. Ole Miss is relentless. Don't be surprised if they make it far this year in the college football playoff. Vanderbilt beats Mizzou by 7. Vandy is stacking up wins, and I think that you can thank Diego Pavia for that. Vanderbilt is in good hands with him at QB. Watch them start to make a playoff push by the end of the year. Virginia holds on to not get upset by Bill Belichick and UNC, 17-16 in overtime. I was watching this game, and my goodness, dude, it was an eyesore watching this game play out. These offenses that were trying to score on each other, they couldn't. It was awful. And it's not even like the defenses were playing great. It's just the offenses were playing so bad and lackluster that was like, wow, like what are we watching here? I don't know how the college football playoff is going to play out, especially at this point. Upsets in college football happen every single week, and we'll see this home stretch of the season kind of pan out and shape into a good college football playoff. Next week, I will be making my college football playoff predictions at just about midseason, kind of 3/4 into the season. I will be making my predictions next week. And, we'll see by this weekend who I'll come up with and put in my college football playoff. Brian Kelly is now fired by LSU. Big move by them with a heavy buyout of $27 million. I expected this move to be made, especially after losing to Texas A&M by how much you did. You didn't do anything in your tenure at LSU. He didn't win a national championship. LSU has a strict line of, you coach for a few years, and then bam, there you go. You win. You end up winning that national championship, and Brian Kelly just couldn't get it done. This shakes the college football coaching world for sure, because now you got open spots by Florida, LSU, and Lane Kiffin is looking like the hottest coach in college football right now because he's getting offers left and right now, and it's going to be a tough decision by the end to see who is going to be Florida's coach next season, LSU's coach next season, Ole Miss's coach next season. So there's a lot of coaching changes that are going to be made next season, and we just got to see it pan out and unfold. We're going to take a brief intermission here. Again, this is the Fifth Quarter Podcast on a beautiful Thursday. I'll be back in a minute. All right, welcome back to the Fifth Quarter Podcast. First half was NFL, now it's NBA section here. I didn't expect a lot of things to go how they have been in the first 5 games, especially for the Orlando Magic. I'm an Orlando Magic fan, and we're starting off 1-4. Loss against the Pistons yesterday. 135-116. I have a lot to say about the Magic and how poor the coaching has been for this team. Jamal Mosley is not the answer at coach for the Orlando Magic. I think that if this really gets bad enough to the point where we lose against the Hornets and the Wizards, you might have to pull the plug at that point on Jamal Mosley and his time in Orlando Magic coach. I cannot believe that we have a stacked roster like we do and yet be so bad right now. And I understand there's bumps along the road. I mean, teams go through losing streaks. It happens. But when you have a roster that's built like this, and you can't even blame it on team chemistry, because at that point it's just, I can't blame it on team chemistry. I think it's a coaching issue that needs to be solved. His rotation is awful. I don't like the rotation at all. I think Goga Batadze plays way too many minutes. Jalen Suggs does not play enough minutes. Tyus Jones is starting to look like a bad move because you have Anthony Black and you have Jalen Suggs. Rotate them. Tristan Da Silva is looking awesome. There's no room for Tyus Jones right now on this basketball team. Heck, I would even play Jace Richardson and Noah Penda over him right now. I don't understand why we got him. Desmond Bane's not looking great, and I can understand that. You know, you're here with a new team. Tyus Jones as well, but you're here with a new team, and you cannot perform. That stuff happens. But there needs to be a change made with the Orlando Magic as far as even defense goes. We were a top 5 defense last year, and now we're giving up 135 points to the Pistons. We're giving up probably 120 a game right now. Stuff needs to change as far as the Magic goes. But anyways, let's go more around the league here. We have the 76ers, which I am shocked by. VJ Edgecombe looks like he has been in the league for at least 6 years. Watching him, he played against the Magic on, I think it was a few days ago. Watching him torch us like that was insane to watch. I understood he dropped last week, right before we did the podcast last week, he had dropped 34 in his first career game. This guy is going to be special for such a long time because you can see the poise that he has when he's playing the game. He doesn't get flustered. And if I'm an NBA coach, if I'm an NBA scout that drafted Cooper Flagg or Dylan Harper, I'm saying, man, we really missed out. Now, Cooper Flagg is going to be really good. I think keep him in the point guard role as far as right now. Later, try and assess that because he could become the next Magic Johnson if he stays at that point guard role. I think that he really suits well in that role. And Dylan Harper is going to be a torch off the bench this season for the Spurs, who, by the way, are playing really, really, really good basketball. Victor Wembanyama is chasing an MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, and a Most Improved Player of the Year right now, in my eyes. He's chasing all 3 of those things at once. He is playing basketball at a very high level right now. This is the best version of Wembanyama we have seen since he's entered the league. If he doesn't get injured, I think he will keep up this production and he will end up winning MVP by the end of the year. He is miles ahead of everybody else because of his physical, the size that he has. He's 7'5". Some people are saying that he's still growing. I don't know, but right now, Victor Wembanyama is my MVP through 5 games of the season. He has played such good basketball through 5 games. Wow. It's crazy. I want to talk about Paolo Banchero. He's good. He's a good player. I like watching Paolo Banchero. He's probably my favorite player on the Magic. Suggs is probably second. When I watch Paolo Banchero, I like him. The one thing he can't do is shoot the basketball. I have a problem with that. And, among superstars in the league, he was 60th in efficiency among the 62 superstars that are in this league. He is 60th in offensive efficiency. And that partly goes to show that Paolo Banchero cannot shoot. If Paolo Banchero was able to shoot, I don't know, man. He would probably knock 30 a game. He's so good. He's so talented. And then you see that shot and you're like, man, dang it. He's almost there. He's still developing. It's year 4, but Paolo Banchero has to go in there and say, I'm the guy. I need to shoot better. And that's also part of the Magic struggles right now. Trae Young left with a left knee injury, I believe. In that game yesterday against the Nets, they end up still winning 117-112, but Trae Young, dominant player. I remember a Trae Young interview from 2018, and this is how I know him. This is how I know who he is and how he plays is he said that I value an assist more than a point. He said, I'd rather get an assist for my teammate than a point for our team. And that speaks a lot of unselfishness there. Trae Young is ice cold, but Trae Young can average 20 and 10 easily. He's so talented. And for him to not return to that game kind of made me sad. I mean, he is such a dominant player. He's such a dominant player. I saw a clip on the Timberwolves game. Jake LaRavia, sorry I was botching that name. He had 27 points last game against the Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards was sitting on the bench because he was hurt, and he was like, who is this kid? Right? I saw in an Instagram post, he said lol. Jake did, but that was really funny because he's a depth piece. I've known him for a little bit, and he's a good player. He is a good player, and it's good that the Lakers got him, but the Lakers end up taking the W 116-115 in that one. But the whole NBA has been, I think the product itself has been better this season. I like the product that we're getting right now through 5 games. I think there's enough physicalness where, it's good fun to watch, but it's not too much to the point where it's like, okay, this game is just a free throw contest, right? Looking at the standings right now, Eastern Conference, Bulls are sitting at 4-0 as well as the 76ers. Let me tell you, Tyrese Maxey is cooking right now. He is absolutely cooking. 37.5 points per game right now, shooting 45% from the field. He's averaging 9 3-point attempts per game, making 4 of them, and he's shooting 47% right now. You heard that, 47%. He's the best player in the NBA right now. Giannis, and then Shea, and then dude, option 1, Austin Reeves is a very, very good player. He's averaging 34 right now, and he's making about 3 threes a game, and he is shooting 38% from 3. He had a game winner against the Kings yesterday. Or he had a game winner. He had a game winner against the Kings. I think it was a couple days ago, actually. A couple days ago, he had a game winner against the Kings. That was just insane to me as well. He has been playing very well. The Magic, they were playing Tobias Harris yesterday, and I was like, this dude's gonna drop 20 on us. And he hadn't dropped 20 all season, and he ends up going out and he gets 20. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, but anyways, NBA standings. Heat are at 3-1. They are playing very good basketball as well. Norman Powell is cooking. Bucks 3-1. Cavs 3-2. Pistons 3-2. Knicks 2-2, and then you got the Hornets at 2-2. And I like this Hornets team. This Hornets team, they look very good as well. Concanupul is shooting solid from the field. I'm liking this team. Celtics, I don't think they're a very good team. The Celtics are not a good team. Anthony Simons, he's solid. I like him a lot. He's a good player. But the loss of Jason Tatum really, really hinders you and opens your eyes to see how much he means to that team. Over on the Western Conference side, we got the Thunder at 5-0. Then the Spurs at 4-0. Then we got the Warriors 4-1, Nuggets 3-1, Trailblazers 3-2. Let me tell you about the Trailblazers real quick. I really like their roster. They have an insane roster. That I love it. It's just a bunch of guys that are really good, but you don't really have that one superstar. I guess that superstar would be Shaedon Sharpe, but you have the guy from you have Denny Advija, I think that's his name. He's really talented. I like him. Donovan Clingan. You got Drew Holiday. Just a bunch of really good players playing together, and they're proving right now that they can be a good team. You got the Lakers at 3-2. You got the Grizzlies at 3-2. Then you got the Jazz at 2-2. Lauri Markkanen at 50 the other day, which was insane. Then you got the Clippers sitting at 2-2 right now, and the Rockets at 2-2. I think the Western Conference for the past 5 years has been way more competitive, and yeah, we're seeing it again. The Spurs are on the come up now. Yeah, they're playing a great brand of basketball. The Pacers, they can't really get anything going. The loss of Tyrese Halliburton really hurts you. Really, it does. And without Tyrese Halliburton, you're not really going to get anywhere. So right now, my MVP is Tyrese Maxey. I think I would throw Wemby up there, obviously. And then we probably get into somebody like Giannis or maybe even Austin Reeves right now. The NBA is in full effect, guys. Full effect. It is here. And, as the season goes on, I'll have more takes on the NBA. It's very fun to see the NBA back full in action. Without further ado, we're going to be looking at the NFL games this weekend, and we're going to see who we're going to be taking this weekend. I don't think I performed very well last week, and but we'll see this week. So I already did my take about the Thursday night game. I think the Dolphins are back. Maybe not back, but I think the Dolphins are at the point where they're waking up and they're saying, hey, we can play football again, right? So give me the Dolphins by 7 on this one, regardless if Lamar is playing or not. 49ers, Giants, that's going to be an interesting game. Two teams that came off, they're rough right now, but wow. 49ers, Giants. Give me the Niners in this one. I think maybe Brock Purdy's playing this one. The Giants, they got to get used to not having Cam Scatterbo in there, but they don't have a talented roster like the 49ers do, and the 49ers look better than the Giants do as of right now. So give me the Niners by like 6. I think that's a safe option there. Chargers, Titans, give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers by 10 in that one. They have their defensive struggles too, so I think maybe this can be a Cam Ward breakout game. But the Chargers, man, they're starting to play way better. Last Thursday we saw them play against the Vikings, and man, that was just a great game, a statement win for them that they needed. Speaking of the Vikings versus Lions, give me the Lions in this one. The Lions are firing on all cylinders right now. They're playing really good football. I can't take that away from them. Even with that secondary being depleted, they're still playing great football. So Give me the Lions probably by 10 on that one. I just don't see the Vikings really competing. I know J.J. McCarthy is going to be playing now. Carson Wentz is on IR. So, yeah, I still think the Lions are still going to firmly win that game. Patriots versus Falcons. I'm taking the Patriots. This is going to be a very defensive game. I think it's going to be a slower game for Drake May. But give me the Patriots by 7 on this one. The Falcons, they didn't have a good showing last week, but they'll definitely compete in this game against the Patriots, and I think they match up better against the Patriots than they do against the Dolphins last week. Colts Steelers, man, this might be a trap game here. Nope. The Colts are still going to win, and here's why. Jonathan Taylor is playing phenomenal football right now. He's playing great football. And the Steelers, they can't tackle right now. You put $1 billion into your defense, and they're the richest defense in the league, and yet they can't even tackle. So give me the Colts by 7 on that one. Broncos Titans. This is a good game too. Two teams that are kind of in the similar. They play similar, but give me the Broncos. They're really starting to play phenomenal football. We saw last week against the Cowboys. They were taking care of business, and I think this defense is going to end up being the best defense once again this year. Give me the Broncos. Give me the Broncos by 10 on that one. Bears Bengals. Man, this is going to be a high-scoring game here. This is going to be a very high-scoring game. Joe Flacco, I do not think is playing, so it's going to be Drake Browning once again. Give me the Bears in this one. I think the Bears will win by 6 in this one. Panthers, Packers, is Bryce Young playing or not? That's my question. I don't think it really matters, though. The Packers are probably going to win that game regardless, but I would like to see Bryce Young compete against a stout Packers team. But yeah, give me the Packers in that one, probably by 14. The Panthers, I love the Panthers, but they can't really get anything going right now, especially without Bryce Young. Rams Saints, give me the Rams by 3. Actually, no. They got Tyler Show playing. It's going to be a completely different team. Tyler Show is starting for the New Orleans Saints. Give me the Rams by 10 on this one. The Saints, they're figuring stuff out. Save for your picks next season. That's what I would be telling the Saints right now. Save for your picks. Jaguars, Raiders, give me the Jaguars firmly by 7 in this game. If Trevor doesn't throw any turnovers, I think that they can win this game by more, but he's too prone to turning over the ball. So, yeah, give me the Jags in that one by 7. Chiefs, Bills, this is going to be quite the afternoon slate matchup here. This is going to be a dogfight again. Give me the Chiefs in this one. Give me the Chiefs by 4. The Chiefs, they're firing on all cylinders. They look like how they did in 2022, and that's a very dominant football team. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one. Despite their record, I like the route that the Chiefs are in. I think they're the best team in the NFL right now. Seahawks, Commanders, I do not think Jane Daniels is playing. I think even with Jane Daniels playing, I think we would still be seeing the Seahawks winning this game. Sam Darnold is playing great football, especially alongside with Jackson Smith. He's playing amazing. Who's going to stop Jackson Smith and Njigba on the Commanders? I don't know. I don't think they're going to have an answer for him. So give me the Seahawks by 7 in this one. And our final game of the day, we have the Cardinals and the Cowboys here. Man, these are two teams that also play very similarly because they don't have great defenses, but their offenses are good. Give me the Cowboys in this one. The Cowboys are going to make they're going to make them pay, and I think the Cowboys just overall they have a great offense, and the Cardinals have a weak defense. But I think the difference is the Cowboys I think can get more stops than the Cardinals can in the end of the day. So, yeah, those are my takes for Week 9 of the NFL. Let's head over to the NBA side and see what we're gonna be seeing this weekend from these teams. So let's let it load here. And we got 4 games. Give me the Magic over the Hornets. The Hornets, they are playing good, but I think the Magic are going to bounce back and finally get on the win column again. 4-game losing streak after that great win over the Miami Heat. Give me the Magic, though. I think that Paolo is going to assert his dominance again, and there's going to be some type of move done with the rotation in this game. I can feel it. Wizards Thunder. Give me the Thunder. The Wizards are a very competitive basketball team, to say the least, but the Thunder, they're the Thunder. Give me the Thunder in that one. Warriors versus Bucks. This is going to be also a very, very competitive game. Give me the Warriors in this game. They're firing on all cylinders as well. Steph Curry is aging like fine wine. I said that last week, and I'll say it again. He's playing great basketball. So yeah, give me the Warriors against the Bucks. And then Heat versus Spurs. That's also a great matchup. Man, give me the Spurs to keep going. And I think Wembanyama is really gonna play well against Bam Adebayo. And yeah, man, the Spurs are really just firing on all cylinders. Tomorrow we have Celtics 76ers. Give me the Sixers in that one. The Sixers played the Celtics earlier. First game this year, and VJ Edgecombe went off, and I expect that again. Hawks versus Pacers. Give me the Pacers in that one. I don't think Trae Young is going to be back for this game, so yeah, give me the Pacers in this one to pick up their first win this season. It's good to see him get on the in the win column there to start the year. Raptors versus Cavaliers. Give me the Cavaliers in this one. They're also a team that's a little shaky right now, to say the least, but I still believe in the Cavs. They have a great roster. Give me the Cavs in that one. Knicks versus Bulls. Give me the Bulls. The Bulls are playing fantastic basketball right now. Josh Giddey is playing very good, and they have pieces on their bench like Trey Jones playing very good basketball as well. So, yeah, give me the Bulls to go beat the Knicks. Lakers versus Grizzlies. Give me the Lakers. No, who's going to stop Austin Reeves? Number one option, Austin Reeves. Sorry. Give me the Lakers in that one. Jazz versus Suns. Man, give me the Jazz in this one. I like Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler. They've got good pieces over there that I do like over on the Jazz side of things. As far as the Suns, they have 1,500 guards. That's all I can say about the Suns. They have a bunch of guards, and I don't know. Who's their starting center? Nick Richards. Trailblazers versus Nuggets. Give me the Nuggets in this one. As much as I like the Trailblazers, give me the Nuggets in this one. Jokic is playing like Jokic, and everybody on that Nuggets team is playing around him, playing for him, playing with him. Yeah, give me Nikola Jokic to beat the Trailblazers. And Pelicans Clippers. Clippers should be able to firmly handle that game. These are two different teams, because the Pelicans, they're a young group, and you have the Clippers, who are a wise and older group that can't move as fast. But yeah, give me the Clippers in this game. Yeah, man. That's kind of what you can expect this weekend as far as the NBA goes. But that is going to be it for the Fifth Quarter Podcast this week. Episode 9 is in the books. We will see what will happen this weekend with the NFL and college football. Who's going to get upset this week? We don't know. I don't know. That's why next week it's going to be really hard on me to pick who's going to win the college football playoffs. And as far as the NBA goes, we'll see who starts to rise and who starts to fall this weekend for the NBA. But anyways, I'm your host, Caden Aguiar, and that's it for the Fifth Quarter Podcast. Take care, everybody.